Let's go to this one. The college football playoff expansion will actually happen in January. They had a meeting. They pushed it back to December 1st. They had that meeting. They pushed it back to January. Are we going to see the playoffs expand for the next year, or are we going to wait till 2025?
I'm going to say fiction for two reasons. One, pride is getting in the way. I think everyone that's not Greg Sankey in the SEC, they feel hurt by Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC. So that's, I think, clouding their judgment on what's right for the sport, which is a 12-team playoff, and blocking it in a lot of ways. I also think the complications of the television contract and what money is to be expected immediately is not something that's going to be worked out quickly. For that reason, I think it's going to be a delay. I think it's probably going to happen in 2023. But I don't think we have the 12-team playoff in 2022.
I don't think we're waiting to 2025, but I don't think it happens this year based on the meetings that are taking place and the comments that are being made. It doesn't sound like they're close to finalizing anything, and it was more or less based on the comments from the commissioners. It was like, yeah, we're getting back together next month. We're meeting again. You know, it's like it's a nuisance is how they're treating it right now. It's annoying to them that they continue to meet about this instead of making a decision. I think they'll delay it, and I think it's before 2025. The money's going. They're going to make too much money to not expand. And right now, money's melting around college football like cotton candy in your mouth. They're going to get this done.
You guys were trying to give the Heisman Award to the entire Georgia defense earlier in the show. That's not going to happen, but fact or fiction, a defensive player has a chance to win the Heisman this season.
Fact, it's a chance, but ultimately fiction because it's not going to happen. I would like to see it happen, Hutton. This is the year that you can make the case for some guys that it's not going to be a quarterback, but it's going to be a quarterback.
It's fiction because no one's talking about any individual defensive player. I mean, we can name a handful, but no one's naming. Everyone can just list off Bryce Young, and Stroud. No one is clamoring for one specific defensive player, and because of that, it's going to be a quarterback.
Aiden Hutchinson right now is probably the leader for Michigan. He had 14 pressures last week against Ohio State via Pro Football Focus. It's the highest number since they started tracking it. They're playing Iowa today in the Big Ten championship game. Kirk Ferentz called him a mix of Howie Long and John Randall. It's pretty high praise.
Sounds like a Heisman Trophy winner to me, Joe. I mean, just combine those two. Let's give the guy the Heisman. Why not? This is kind of a why not year. I just look around. I don't see
that's not how these voters do it, though.
Dominant, record-breaking.
Half these voters didn't see Hutchinson until last week for the first time.
I know. But you hope. I mean, the guys who don't watch him, they just hear about him enough this week. And maybe if we say his name enough,
they'll list him third.
Aiden Hutchinson.
They'll list him third.
Then someone will put him on the list.
He'll get the invite to New York.
I'm skeptic on that because I don't trust the voting process.
Yeah.
It's a popularity contest, and it's always the quarterback. It doesn't go to the best player.
Lane train because we had to, right? So moving on to Lane Kiffin trolling everyone, which is basically his entire Twitter feed any given day. But this last week, he took it up one notch for sure. So he's trolling everyone with his rental car pictures, and that means that he's not leaving Ole Miss. He was out there. The LSU job was still open. He posts a picture of Louisiana license plates. A couple hours later, it's Texas. Like, Lane has more fun on Twitter than anybody else.
I mean, I'm going to say that it's fact he's not leaving because there's no available job he would take right now. And it's 50-50 if Manny Diaz is going to be at Miami, right? When they hire their AD, if he's going to be, that's the one job I think he might leave for, not a certainty.
Or the NFL.
Yeah, I don't see the NFL as an option right now for Lane Kiffin. So I think it's a troll job because he knows he's staying at Ole Miss.
Well, he trolls. I mean, he lives for this.
Yeah,
he lives to stir the pot. He doesn't need an agent to get a raise. He just talks about other jobs. And I mean, whenever the Tennessee job was open, he would call sports talk radio across the state.
He'd go on every Tennessee sports talk show and talk about how much he loves the Vols.
After ditching the Vols for USC, he would call in and do interviews and end by saying, "Go Big Orange" or "Go Vols." And everyone was clamoring that they wanted Lane Train back. This is just what he does. Is he content in staying? He'll stay at Ole Miss and he can win and go to a college football playoff when they expand to 12 and do great. Will he jump around because that's what he does? Yeah. But it's got to be the right job, like Chad's saying. And the best jobs opened up, and we didn't hear much of his name.
Right.
So he'll get an extension and get paid just like every other coach in college football right now.